Hello, how's everybody doing? It's Easter weekend. It's actually Easter Sunday and we are in coronavirus lockdown. So I thought I would take the opportunity to rebuild the wheels for this bike here. This is SB1861, which is a late 1977 Reynolds 531 SBDU bike. This bike came to me in completely original condition, but very beaten, very tired, very corroded. I've kept it as original as possible. All I've done so far is replace the saddle. It had an aluminium rail saddle which had snapped. I've replaced the bar tape and I've replaced the badly perished brake lever hoods. So when it comes to the wheel build, these are the original Maverick sprint rims, and these are the original early Shimano 6-speed cassette hubs. The chrome spokes that it had in had badly perished and corroded, so I've snapped those out and I'm going to replace them with some stainless spokes. First thing you need to do though is find out what size spoke you need. So it's a 36 hole sprint rim, 36 hole hubs. There are a few things you need to do, a few things you need to measure. And to do that measuring, you need a metal rule and some calipers. You also need a couple of spokes. These spokes are going to help you find out the ARD, or the effective rim diameter. That's going to be probably in the ballpark of these rims 610, 620, somewhere around there. What you do is two spokes, both 200mm in length, cut off at the J end, so you've still got the threads on, and just screw a spoke nipple on just until the spoke comes flat with the bottom of the slot on the nipple. There you go. So that's two spokes, both 200mm long, and they go, oops, it easy. They go opposite each other in the rim like that. So you've got a gap between those two spokes. So this is 200mm, this is 200mm, and the gap in the middle added to the 400mm you've already got will give you your ARD. Well, it's best to do this, just lying it flat on a table. And get your metal rule and just measure the gap from one end of one end spoke to the other, and that's coming in at 213. So that's 400 plus 213 gives me an ARD of 613. That's your first measurement. Now it's best, if you want, because rims aren't perfectly round, to put these spokes into different holes around the rim and take an average if you wanted to. You then have your hubs, and there's various things you need to measure on the hubs. You'll find sheets like this all over the internet, but this is the sort of measurements that you need. You need the diameter of the hub flange, the size of the spoke hole. And what the size here that we're really interested in is from the center of the flange to the center of the hub, and again from the center of that flange to the center of that hub. And because that's showing a back wheel, it's because the back wheel is going to be dished so you can fit your gear on here, in this case the cassette sprockets. But it's very difficult to measure from the center of the flange to the center of the hub because you don't really know where the center of the hub is. So what you do is you get your overlock nut dimension, which in this case is 126, and you measure from the centre of the flange to the end of that lock nut. And again, you do it on that side, centre of the flange to the end of the lock nut. Yes, and I've already completed. So as you can see, the rear hub is 126. The measurement from one flange to the lock nut is 30, and the other measurement is 43. That enables you to do the subtractions and get your two measurements to the centre of the hub from the hub flange. You also do that on the front. So again, you need the measurement from the centre of the hub to the hub flange. But because you don't know where the centre of the hub is, you measure from the centre of the flange to the lock nut. And because there's no dish on this front hub, it's going to be the same measurement from the centre of the flange to that lock nut. So my measurements came out at the ARD, 613mm. These hub flanges are the same on both sides, but they're not always the same on most hubs. But on these hubs, they're the same. So the centre of one hole to the centre of another hole is 45mm. Spoke hole, it's very difficult to measure, but most will give you about 2.6mm to use. This measurement was 43, this measurement was 30, and that gives me the two measurements I need of 33 and 20. Now the flange diameter on the front hub is smaller. So on the front hub, the flange diameter came out to 38, same size spoke hole. The measurement from flange to the lock nut was 15, and that was the same on both sides. So that gives me my two centre measurements from the flange to the centre of the hub, flange to the centre hub of 35mm, equal on both sides. So they're all the measurements you need. It takes about 5 minutes. You then need a spoke calculator. Now, you can download loads of these off the internet. If I'm on my laptop, I'll use something like Spoke Calc, which is an Excel spreadsheet. But you can get apps for your phone. There's just a generic one called Spoke Calculator. And you just enter those measurements you've just taken into the Spoke Calculator. Press the tick at the bottom, and it generates a spoke length for you. So this is what's determined I need. There we go. So for the rear, 3 cross on a 36 hole hub. On the left hand side, I need 296.42. On the right, I need 295.26. So the right side spoke is shorter to give the dish of the wheel. On the front, again, 3 cross 36 hole hub. I need 298.2 and 298.2. Same length spokes because there is no dish on that hub. So the front is going to be 298. The rear is probably going to be, 296 or 297 and 295. And that's it. A quick 5-minute exercise with a couple of tools, a couple of spokes, my jotting down, and someone else's clever maths. So 295, 297 and 298. I've got a whole host of spokes up here. I just need to dig some out and see some 298 there already. So I just need to dig those out, get 36 and 36 for both wheels and start building. Thank you very much. I hope everybody continues to enjoy the lockdown. Thank you. Bye.